We got history. Got me feeling the nostalgia when you look at me.
Hello to you too, Miss C4. How did you get to teach Sbahle everything ayaziyo and she always willing to learn? Luckily, I will actually say it's my biggest luck that Sbahle is actually always very keen. Yeah, always very keen to learn. I think because I also influenced that, because when I was still pregnant, when I would go for checkups and all of that, the doctor advised that I actually start reading to her when she was still in the tummy. And I did exactly that. And I was not even believing. I did not believe that it was going to be such, an impactful result. And I actually started doing it. But when I think when I was 4 or 5 months pregnant, she started reacting because I would read the same book over and over again to see that, she could understand from the tummy. And the reactions would obviously give me, the satisfaction that what I'm doing is actually working. So I would advise, it works with different people. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean, or if it works for me, it doesn't mean it's going to work for the next person. But that's what I started doing. Started reading to Sbahle when she was still in the tummy, and I actually never stopped until she was born. And yeah, that's what it is. I hope I did answer your question correctly. Thank you. And thanks for your question. Morning. How did you juggle work and breastfeeding? Thank you, Paul, for your question. I actually breastfed for 3 months when I was still home, because I stayed home for 3 months before I could go back to work. And when I went back to work, I came back. I remember that day I came back and I wanted to breastfeed her, and she was just like, "Nah, fam, I don't want that shit." Excuse my language. So I breastfed for 3 months when I was still home, and after that she just like, "I don't want it." So I stopped at 3 months. And she also didn't want formula. She only had rooibos tea, iced tea, and just normal tea, and just milk, like fresh milk. So we'll just boil it again and obviously cool it down, and then she would drink it. What do you use for your face? Guys, we are asking motherhood and parenthood related questions. It's literally there on the pinned comment. Hey, how are you finding co-parenting? It's not happening. There isn't co-parenting. I'm doing this thing by myself. There isn't co-parenting, and I've made peace with it. How did you get it right for her to know all the languages? I always say that spend time with your child for you to understand them better and know what they want and know what they like and what they're interested in. And I figured out that Sbahle actually loves learning. Sbahle is always curious to know, and Sbahle is always keen to learn more and new information. So I always try out things that I would have loved to know at her age, and only to find out that she's actually interested, and I'll just teach her, and she will obviously catch up and know all those things. So it's really important to actually spend time with your child and find out who they really are and what they like and what they're interested in. Okay, I don't see your questions anymore. Okay, I did respond to this one. And thanks, guys, for your questions. You most welcome, Missy, for... When can one start giving their newborn food? Breast milk is not enough for her. Thanks for your question, Tandega_7. Tandega, if you're still here, or for those who also would like to know about this information, I said in the beginning of this video that I would never tell anyone how to raise their child or how to do things with their child, because there isn't a formal manual that says this is how you need to do things. But personally with Sbahle started eating solids, and solids I mean purity and mashed potato and smashed food and whatever, when she was 4 months. because she was just not getting full. So I was just like, so I would take like 1 full teaspoon of purity, breastfeed, and then she would sleep the whole night. So that's what I did. I'm not saying you must do that. It's probably not going to be appropriate for your child. And yeah, but I'm just, sharing what could possibly be the solution to your problem. How do you discipline Sbahle? Do you spank or when you face the wall? Lol, I don't spank her. I believe children should be treated the way we treat adults, because in Ghana they're actually fully humans, So this thing, it's actually not going to work, because the same way you react with aggression. It's the same way they would react. So it's different with everyone, Some people believe in spanking kids, which I totally don't believe in. I shout, definitely, but shouting according to limits. I don't shout and scream my lungs out. It's a matter of, it's actually my facial that determines ukuthi ndinweka ngakanani, and she knows. So I'll be like, Sbahle, don't do this, and then she'll probably do it again, and I'm like, Sbahle, it's the tone as well. Sbahle, don't do it again. She's like, okay, mommy. And also, Sbahle is not even a fussy kid. Like, she actually listens. So you don't even have to repeat anything twice. You say it once, she says, okay, mommy, and she stops. But I don't believe in spanking kids. I don't believe in, like, shouting kids. I'll just shout or just change the tone of my voice. Because remember that when kids actually retaliate to the energy that you give, the same way that, an adult will do. You shout, they shout back. You scream, they scream back. You hit them, they hit you back. So, this just, in this household, we practice kindness all the time. I hope I answered your questions. Your question, rather. Thank you also for your question. Bella B says, I'm not a parent or anything, but I really love the way you parent Sbahle and how she has so much respect when I'm a parent. I'm going to be the way you are. That is really kind. Thank you so much. It's not easy. You're also raising a child, ne? Guys, please don't have kids. I always say this to people. Please don't have kids. Don't have kids, please. We'll have them on your behalf, because we already know how it's like. I really like this, Ntando. You should do this more often. Just being a young mom, we need this. Hahol. Thanks. Thanks, Mpo. I will try here when I've got time. Even now, I actually have to wake up and go shower. It's not my day, so I don't have enough time. But thank you. I will try. Sbahle is a twin of my daughter. They share the same date, and my kids love her so much. I'm excited. That is so kind. That is so sweet. Say hello to your daughter. Okay, I'm not finding other questions here. Oh, you mean Wadlulai Angaboni? Dating and raising a child, how has it been for you? Until I actually feel that this person is this is for me. Okay, so these are personal responses. I'm not saying what works for me will work for you. What I'm doing, you should do as well. Until I actually feel this is the right person for me, I would introduce them to, my child. Because I would never want my child to know, this is your stepfather, this is your stepfather, this is your stepfather, and then we break up with this one, there's another stepfather. Hey, confuse umntwana. She has a lot to learn. I was looking for that, and was Jesus Christ. So I would actually introduce my child to the person that I actually really feel is the one, which I might be wrong, because men are trash. So yeah, that's what it is. If I feel this person is actually the right person for me, and commitment is on the hundreds, then I will start introducing. It's not a question, but the way you raise Sbahle,
Thinking about what could have happened or what